Hey guys, this is Daniel with Fantasy Boom, and welcome to our video today for April 4th, 2018. Last night's picks were absolutely on fire. We made 11 picks on video of guys we were going to play, and 8 of them hit their projection and did what they were supposed to do. The 3 that missed, there were logical explanations for why they missed, but our research process is on point. And if you want to see the video we did yesterday, was actually the over-the-shoulder in-depth research process. It's about 40 minutes, and I break down how we research which picks to take, and the picks we decide to take, we take with fairly decent confidence that they're going to hit because of the research process that we use. It's that in depth. So if you want the link for that video, that's a private video, and it's only reserved for people who register for Predict Picks with our invite code. So if you want the private link to that video, all you have to do is go to predictpicks.com/welcome. Once you hit sign up, when you're signing up, where it says the referral code, you put in our referral code, thatfantasyboom. And then once you register and you're done with that process, send us an email at thatfantasyboom@gmail.com and let us know that you registered with our code, and then we will send you the private link for this over-the-shoulder in-depth video, and you can see exactly how we do our research, how we're accurate with our picks, and it helps to have the knowledge to make your own picks, but if you don't feel like doing that and you want to see behind the process and how we're able to actually make accurate picks using this website to in turn profit, this is how you do it. So we're going over today's slate, and I highlighted a couple of picks here that stuck out to me, and I'm going to just touch on some of these and give you guys my opinion on whether or not, these guys are going to go over or under their projected total here. So I'll just touch on a couple so this video doesn't go on all day. So Vucevic here, his projected total is 37.8, and this is FanDuel points. Is he going to go over or under? Well, playing for Orlando has nothing to play for anymore. They're completely out of the playoff race. They are playing against the Mavericks, who also have nothing to play for and are completely out of the playoff race. That being said, the Mavericks are very vulnerable on the inside to big men, and Vucevic is a very talented big man. Offensively, he is as skilled as they come. It leaves a lot to be desired on the defensive end, but offensively, this guy is very, very, very good. So that being said, if this game can stay close, and if he can stay out of foul trouble, which generally he doesn't get in much foul trouble because he is a poor defensive player, but he has gotten into foul trouble before. If this game stays close, he can go over this number. But that's the key phrase, if it stays close. If it starts to blow out in any direction, he won't get his full run of minutes. So he comes with some risk, but if this stays close, he can shatter that number. Kyle Lowry, his number is 35.8. He has only hit that a couple times in his last 10 games. The interesting thing about him is he's a victim of his team's talent and success. Because they play so good as a team and their fantasy production is spread around, he's a victim, and he doesn't score very highly very often. He doesn't need to. His team is the number one team in the East for a reason. So I'm leaning under on this number. You got the Raptors playing the Celtics, the top two teams in the East. This game is not going to have a whole lot of pace associated with it. Both teams are more stout defensively. I think they both rank in the top 10 as far as defensive teams in the league. So This game is going to be a close game. It should be a close game, and I just see the fantasy production on the Raptors side of the ball being spread out. So I like Lowry for the under. If I played him, I'd like him for the under. I haven't decided if I'm going to play him tonight, but if I play him, it's probably going to be the under. Dragic. Man, this guy. I don't think he's very good, and I think he was probably the worst of the All-Stars to be voted in this year, which says a lot. I mean, look at these projections. He was an All-Star, okay, and his projected over-under fantasy points is 31.2. That says a lot about the talent of this guy. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to sit here and go on a rant about what I think about him as a person. I'm sure he's a great guy, but I don't think he's an awesome basketball player. They play the Hawks, who bleed fantasy points to everyone, but specifically the point guard and center position. Although he hasn't been producing eye-popping numbers, this number, in my opinion, is too low for the matchup. The Hawks bleed fantasy points to point guards and centers, and that is an exaggeration. So I'd be comfortable playing Dragic over 31.2 just because of the matchup. If they were going up against Toronto, or if they were going up against Boston, or even Oklahoma City, I'd take this under in a heartbeat. Under all day long. But the Hawks, it's a totally different ball game with them, and I like him to go over versus the Hawks. Jason Tatum. This guy has been forced into a bigger role on the team because of the injuries going around. Kyrie Irving, major usage he has on that team, and with him injured, that usage gets spread out between Jason Tatum, between Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford. This total here, 28.9, this is criminally low. So if you want your freebie play of the day, this is it. In the last 8 games or so, Jason Tatum has averaged, okay, over 32 fantasy points a game. That's averaged. Okay, this total, way too low. It's way too low. Because their rotation isn't very big right now, and he's playing monster minutes because, they still need to win. I don't see how he does not hit this from the field. The only thing that can happen, in my opinion, that prevents him from going over this 28.9 is A, injury, B, he gets ejected from the game for cursing out an official, or C, if he goes 0 for 15 from the field, then maybe he misses his projection. But I don't see how he does not go over this number. I think that's way too low. So he is one of my hot takes of the night. I'm probably going to be playing a lot of this today in almost every single one of my lineups, every single one of my picks. I'm so used to saying lineups because I also play Draft Kings here or there. But he's going to be one of my core picks at this projection. This is way too low. Al Horford, I don't like playing this guy because I don't know which Al Horford is going to show up. Okay, yesterday for our pick video yesterday, when we went in depth for that 40 minutes and talked about plays, Al Horford was also on that slate yesterday, and his projection was 32 and change. And in that matchup, we went and looked at a lot of different things, and all signs pointed to him going over. And sure enough, he went over his total yesterday. It made me nervous taking him over because Al Horford is not a consistent player at all. That being said, in this matchup, slow-paced game versus the Raptors, I don't see him going over. I lean under, but it's a really light lean. If I even play this, I'll play Al Horford under. But it doesn't make me confident. So you could even not play this at all. But I just wanted to point that out. Andre Drummond. This is a play I actually like because he's playing the Sixers. All right, Embiid is injured, and Drummond is going to be going up against his backup, Richaun Holmes and Amir Johnson. Both dudes seem like nice dudes, but they can't play defense, and they're nowhere near as skilled as Joel Embiid, who also was not the best on defense. Now, Andre Drummond got ejected last game, and I think it was complete bullcrap. I can go on a tangent about that. Centers versus the Nets is a thing, and Andre Drummond was on his way to crushing his number. He was also on this slate, this pick site that night, and he got ejected, and he didn't end up hitting the over, obviously because he got ejected from the game, and he was the only one we got wrong that night. So that is still kind of bitter in my mind. But I liked his bounce back this next game. He's pissed about the ejection, and I like him to come out and dominate and go over this 43 projected points. Here's the problem. Apparently, he's now questionable with a stomach bug. Here, he didn't go through shoot around, but he's hopeful he's able to play tonight against the Sixers. I am really wary of playing guys who are questionable. If you play someone on this pick site who doesn't end up playing, then you just get your money back. You don't automatically lose. You just get your money back, and nothing happens. But if Drummond plays and he's feeling good, I like him to go over this number a lot. I really like Drummond. That's if he plays. So it comes with the caveat. If he plays, I like Drummond to go over this number. And then in that same vein, I'll hop over here and skip around to Ben Simmons. The Sixers are going on the road to Detroit to play this game. And Simmons, since Embiid went down, Simmons has had to do everything for this team. All right, he's had to do absolutely everything for this team. Excuse me. That being said, if Drummond plays, I think this game stays close. And if this game stays close, since it's in Detroit, I like Simmons to go over this number. Philadelphia is on a tear. They've now won 11 games in a row, which, I mean, that's obviously incredible if you think about it. These guys are on fire, and since Embiid has been out, Simmons has taken his game to another level. It's really been something to behold. This guy is a very, very good basketball player. He's a good fantasy player, and I don't see how, like he wasn't voted an All-Star. Granted, I know this is his first year, but you got Dragic, who was voted an All-Star. This guy should have been an All-Star. I digress. I like him to go over this number if Drummond plays, because if Drummond plays, then this game should stay close. So these two are kind of correlated to each other. But these are two plays I actually like. If Drummond plays, the game stays close, and if the game stays close, Simmons has to actually do what he does very well, I might add: distribute, rebound, assist, and score if he needs to. He does so much, and he amasses fantasy points very, very quickly. Julius Randle is an interesting play. The Lakers have been playing very competitive basketball, even though they're out of the playoff discussion. And they get the Spurs, who come to town tonight. And the Spurs are also winners of, I think, 4 straight. They clinched the 4th or 5th spot in the East. Let's double check real quick. Come on, internet. When I run this screen sharing program, it eats up a lot of usage on my computer, so it makes it run a little slower. All right, so San Antonio. Oh, they lost last night. Okay, they lost last night, so I stand corrected. So they dropped. Utah was 7th yesterday, and they won, so they jumped up to 4th. San Antonio lost, so they dropped to 5th. All right, so these teams are in a situation where they must keep winning or they're going to miss the playoffs, okay? Denver is tied with New Orleans. Wow. New Orleans is really screwing themselves up. They are losers of 4 straight. If they don't get it together, they're going to miss the playoffs, and that is going to be a very, very sad thing because I like that team a lot. So I digress. I like this game to stay competitive. LaMarcus Aldridge has been carrying this Spurs team on his back like a possessed man, putting up monstrous numbers every single night for like the last 7 or 8 games or so. He is playing unbelievable basketball on offense, but on defense, he leaves a lot to be desired. He's not the best defensive player at all. And Julius Randle is a player who steps up his game versus much better competition. He's already an aggressive player, but when it comes to playing against guys who are perceived to be very good players, he increases that aggression even more. If he can stay out of foul trouble, which he's known to pick up early fouls, just playing way too aggressive, I like him to go over this number. I may not play this tonight, but he's someone I really like, and I'm going to keep my eye on and toss this play around during the day. Drew Holiday. If you notice up here, I don't have AD picked, and I don't know what his deal is. I did some research, and apparently he tweaked his ankle, and he's still playing because they need to win, but he's playing like hot garbage these last couple games, and he's not even coming close to his projections. If I played him, I'd play the under because it looks like he's still hurt. That being said, if they win this game, they have to do it on the backs of their guards, Rondo and Holiday. Holiday has been playing very well, and he's gone over this number several times in his last 10 games. Memphis is struggling big time in their last 10 games defending the point guard position and the shooting guard position. So if they win this game, it's because Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo show up and show out. I like Rondo to go over this number tonight to lead the Pelicans to victory. If they win, which we already looked at, they cannot lose another game. They lose, Denver is leaping them. Denver's run 3 in a row, so they can't lose. If they win, if the New Orleans Pelicans wins, it's on the back of Drew Holiday. LaMarcus Aldridge, we just talked about him. He's been killing it, and as he goes, so do the Spurs. And if you look, the Spurs, before this loss, they were on a win streak, and he was the reason for that. I like him to go over this number. This might be one of my core plays for the night. The Lakers play really high pace. They don't play defense. There's going to be a lot of possessions that they get, and I love Aldridge to absolutely demolish the shit out of this number. And then we got Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay has come on the last couple games, and this is a play that I'm making just solely based off the matchup. I mentioned that the Lakers play really high pace. They don't play a lot of defense. As a result, it benefits a lot of the Spurs players. Rudy Gay plays off the bench. For the last week, I think he's averaged 24, 25 minutes a game. If he plays 25 minutes versus this Lakers squad, I think he can get there. He can pass this number just with his steal upside, his rebounding. I think he can get there and pass this number. So this is a play I'm really intrigued on, just because this number is so low, 22.6. I mean, it's so low. So these are some of the plays I'm looking at. Just as a bird's eye view for the slate. This is a much easier way to play fantasy. I mean, when you got FanDuel and Draft Kings, you got to roster 8-9 guys who all have to do well in order for you to place and win money. Where with playing fantasy this way, it's so different, right? So let's show a little example here. So I like Tatum as one of my favorite plays. Dragic, I like him to go over. I like Holiday to go over. Drummond may not play, so let's come down here and so let's do these four. So I like these four: Dragic to go over, Tatum to go over, Holiday to go over, and Aldridge to go over. These are probably my 4 favorite picks of the night. I'm gonna do a little more in-depth research just to see if I can further verify them going over these numbers. But let's go these 4. Let's go next. And this is how you play, all right? So Dragic over, Tatum over, Drew Holiday over. You can pick over or under, whichever one you want. But we're going over, okay? And here's how it works. So let's say I want $10 to bet $10 on this. If all these guys go over like I think they will, my $10 bet will win me $100. So at the end of the night, I win $100, and then I get my original $10 bet back. I'll probably do variations of these guys as well. So, let's say I only wanted to do Holiday over, Tatum over, and Dragic over, and I bet that same $10. If all three go over, excuse me, I win $50. And then at the end of the night, after I get my $50, I also get my original $10 bet back. So this is a much easier way of playing fantasy. You play the matchups, find the guys you are really confident on that'll do well, and then pick them to go over or under. It's that simple. It's a much easier way to play. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for today. Don't forget, if you want to play Predict Picks, go to predictpicks.com/welcome. Put in our referral code, thatfantasyboom. You'll see the spot to put it in when you register. And then once you do that, send us an email at thatfantasyboom@gmail.com, and we will send you the private link to our 40-minute long research video where we break down how to do research and pick the right plays every single night, and increase your odds of having a good night on this website every single night. So that's all I've got. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels to get our picks for every day. We're doing this every single day for the rest of the NBA season until the playoffs end. So we're going to be doing this probably well into June. So hey guys, jump on, join the ship. We're having fun over here, and we're actually putting ourselves in a position to actually make real money as opposed to FanDuel or Draft Kings.